Which
Yeah.
is very important, is learn fundamentals. So the fundamentals is very important. Like I know you want to do all these IT jobs, like so many IT jobs out there, but it's very important that you know the basics first before you dive into something, because then you don't know what the hell you're doing. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So fundamentals is very important. So you may need to look at the A plus. You may not need to look at the places like A plus. It could be a specific certification. That way you're well rounded.
Welcome to the Tech Guide podcast. I'm the show's host, Ryan Atkinson. Everyone is wanting to break into tech and have a successful career. The only problem is how. We'll use this podcast to sit down with people that have broken into tech, pivoted their career, or have actual advice to young working professionals. Today, we have Kevin Apolinario on the podcast to talk about how he broke into tech after a 12-year career in the restaurant industry, the resources you can find to break into IT as well, building his YouTube channel that now has over 44,000 subscribers, and job interview tips for the first timers looking to break into IT. Make sure to follow or subscribe to this podcast and share with any other friends that may want a tech guide. You can also learn more about us at techguide.org. Kevin, thank you so much for being here. Super excited to have you on.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Let's chop it down and get to that conversation. It's going to be fun today.
Yes, I'm super excited. And before we do that, we got to ask a kickoff question because your Twitter bio has health, fitness, and tech. Those three in a line. What type of exercise do you do to like de-stress from the day? It was a long day. How do you de-stress with any sort of exercise or anything health-wise?
So that's a very good question. My backstory, if you were to look me up online on my old pictures, I used to be almost 200 pounds.
Wow.
And I dropped from a size 40 in pants to a size 32.
Wow.
And the secret to that success at the end of the day, it goes back to your diet. It goes back to being consistent. So I have this daily habit of mine that I actually do. And you're gonna look at me like I'm crazy, but I actually do 20,000 steps a day. So I literally walk 20,000 steps a day. I do about close to 10 miles a day. And I also do some kettlebell training. That's pretty much my routine. I do 10 miles of walking, and I obviously not in one shot, but like throughout the whole day. And then I do kettlebell training. So I'm all about fitness, because what happens is when you go into IT or you break into IT or you get a job in IT, a lot of these jobs, they're not really like your typical, like running around, moving around. Typically you're in the office like 8 to 5, or you're somewhere in your house, just sitting down all day, and it's not healthy.
Yep.
Our body's not designed to be sitting down the whole time. So it's very important that you take the time to take care of yourself, because I don't know you, but for me personally, health is more important than anything else. Then obviously you could do all the other stuff, but you can't take care of anyone, especially if you have family, or especially if you know people and you have friends. You can't really do much if your health is all messed up. So it's very important that you take care of yourself.
Yeah. And even the mental benefits of like going for walks, it is very like stimulating. Your mind is way more active when you're done. So I applaud you for doing that, because that is actually like phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But to set the stage for your career, let's go back to like the 2008, 2009, 2000 timeframe. Can you give us a little bit of like insight? Like, what is Kevin doing at this time?
So I've been working. My background is crazy, because it's like I've been working since I was 9 years old. So my background is insane. I've been working since I was 9 years old. 2004, I was working at a pizzeria. It was like a long time ago. I worked in a pizzeria, delivery boy. And I worked restaurant I did like 12 years of restaurant experience. I worked 12 years of restaurant experience before I got into IT. And I used all my soft skills, and I transferred over to IT after that. So that's literally how I got my first job in IT, was because of soft skills. And I also did about 4 years in the NYPD. So I did work for the NYPD for roughly 4 years. So I do have, let's say my background's a little weird, because I do have 12 years of restaurant experience, and I also did like the NYPD as well. And then now I work in IT. And so to answer your question, like from 2004, 2008, I was working restaurant. And then 2014, like going fast forward, I got into IT after that. And the reason I got hired was because of my soft skills. At the end of the day, I got hired because of my personality. I didn't get hired because I knew what memory was. I knew what RAM was. I don't know like hard drives or certain technical jargon. Like literally, the hiring manager just hired me because of my personality. Nothing to do with my technical skills. So
that's really interesting. So yeah, so you had this great experience in the restaurant. You work with NYPD. Then July 2014 comes around, and you get a job as an IT support technician with ASI system integration, and you contribute that to just having a great personality and like great soft skills to land your first job.
Yes, that's correct. Because I went to, if we go back in time again, I went to a school and I studied my first certification. So at that time,
Yeah.
I literally was being asked, like, I literally was stuck. I was stuck at me. Like, I didn't know what to do. I worked in a restaurant. I wanted to try something different. So it's literally like, okay, what do I do next? And everyone online is literally like asking me, like, oh, go get the A+, go get the A+. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. It sounds like a grade. Like, you mean like A+, like your grade? Or, and they're like, no, the CompTIA certification. So I was a huge gamer back then. So I was into Counter-Strike Source, or Counter-Strike 1.4, Counter-Strike Source and Steam and all these video games, like back in the day, talking about back in the days. Team Fortress 2, like all the old games. They just go like James Bond, GoldenEye, Nintendo 64. So I was really a gamer. So then I had friends that played video games just like me, but they were a lot older than me. Most of them were military veterans. So I used to have, like, I know I wasn't 21 at the time, but I was having a beer with my veteran buddies, and they all recommended me like the A+. So I'm like, okay, let me go look at the A+. And I went to a school after that, and I studied the A+, and my teacher really liked me because, like, I literally took the time to actually like fix and repair computers for the school. He actually asked ASI, the manager of ASI, to actually come in and interview me. So as a favor, he's like, okay, I'm going to interview Kevin because you got recommended by your teacher. That's a high recommendation because that means you have talent, or you know something, or you know how to do something, or you're worth the time to actually come in. And his interview questions were all non-technical, no personality questions. Like, what would you do what would you do if a customer is upset? How will you handle the situation? What will you do if you have a team member you don't get along with? Or how would you learn how to troubleshoot this issue if you don't know how to fix it? And literally all the questions were non-tech related. And towards the interview, I literally told him, like, you could teach the IT stuff, but you cannot teach the soft skills. You either have it or don't have it, or you learn it over time. So with me, is like, I have restaurant experience. So a customer could throw a fit at me. Like, I'm so used to people throwing credit cards at me in a restaurant that it's like nothing for me. If I were to go and do this field technician work, and he just laughed at me and he's like, okay, I'll give you a chance. We're gonna work together well. And he hired me and he gave me a chance after that. So I worked for the DOE, Department of Education, and literally I was just it's a long story. But literally I was traveling across different boroughs of New York, and I was a field technician. So like I would go to sometimes Manhattan, sometimes the Bronx, sometimes like the other side of Long Island. So like I had to be up like at 5 or 6 in the morning as a field technician because I had to be there at a certain time. And yeah, that was my first job. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like, you were getting this certification, but like at the end of the day, it just was your people skills and having this person take a chance on you. And you mentioned they didn't ask you like one technical question, even though you're getting this certificate. It was just like, take a bet on me because I can talk.
Yeah, so that they asked me, like, what did I know about computers? And like, if you're into school, you should know something because you're in a school with the teacher. So I was like, I'm not gonna ask you technical questions because if he recommended you, you probably at least know something about computers. So
yeah. And so so you land this role, you're with ASI now. I mean, take us through that time. Was it like scary? It's like, oh my God, this is my first time like now working like in the restaurant industry, but like I'm actually like working like IT support now.
yeah, so I was a little afraid because I was scared because for me, one, I didn't know about computers. I didn't know about like memory, hardware, hard drives, motherboards. It's just like I'm completely clueless. It's like I don't know what this is or that is. So that's why when I got the A+, and that really CompTIA A+, because that really helped me out because like I understand hardware after that, and I'm talking specifically based on me because I don't have a IT background. So I'm not like everyone else. And there's some people that go get a computer science degree. There's some people that I don't have a college degree. If you guys don't know that, but I don't have a college degree. So I'm a little different from everyone else. I just have a certification. That's it. And some people go like the traditional route and they go and do a boot camp like WGU, right? It really depends on the person. But me, I didn't know about IT stuff. So that first job, like I was scared as hell because it's like I might get fired because I don't know how to do this job. Because obviously, if you're brand new and you're not doing your job correctly, you may not, you may not stay there for a long time. So
Yep.
the good thing with me is that I had a very good trainer in that company and that job. So he taught me everything. It's a long story, and I'll get straight to the point with the story. But in the school, the schools I worked at before I got into the schools, I did actual technical training. So the company themselves sent me to Manhattan because I'm based in New York. Sent me to Manhattan, and it's really cool because like I had this super duper smart guy, like. He's German. He's a German guy. He's like in his mid-60s, right? And he's showing me everything: hardware parts, computer parts, laptops, PCs. He was showing me how to break down a printer. Like we will literally, like I had like a printer in front of me, and we will literally break down the printer to the point that all the parts are separated, and then we put it back, and then we do a test page to see if it actually works. It's supposed to print out again with the same result after you put it back and take it apart. So I did that with him, and he was so smart. They wouldn't even like repair it. He would solder the living hell out of the parts. So like, for example, like there's a computer that's messed up, he'll solder it. He wouldn't even like replace it or throw it out. He had pieces everywhere. Like there was like motherboards, graphics cards, hard drives, everything. And I'm over here like astounded by it because I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. I didn't ever seen this before. And yeah, he was my real first trainer besides my teacher. And that man, like, super smart guy. I was there for about a month, 2 months of training. Then he's like, okay, I think Kev is good to go. Let's go have him go to the field and shadow some techs. And I did, and I shadowed some techs. And then they trusted me, and they let me do my own thing. And after that, I just became known as the IT guy for the Department of Education.
That's it.
And being in the school, being in the ASI, they gave me the chance to get my ACMT certification, which is the Apple Certified Macintosh Technician Certification. Because you cannot, so if you guys don't know, like if you have A+ or you have certain certifications you have to have because there are contracts with vendors and DOE. So if you don't have A+, you cannot work there. If you don't have Network Plus, you cannot work there. If you don't have Security Plus, you cannot work there. So it really depends on the company, depends on the certification. You have these different vendors that ask for a specific certification because they need to have it. Otherwise, they get in trouble. So you got to have that certification. So for me, I had to have the A+, and I had to have the Apple certification because I was fixing Apple products. So I did that. I did laptops. I did Google Chromebooks. I dealt with printers. I dealt with MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros, like back in the day, back a long time ago. And yeah, it was good. I had really learned a lot. That was my first job. It was just like swimming of knowledge, just learning stuff. It was very interesting. So.
Yeah. So I've been hearing you've been got like your certification, you got it, more certifications. Is that the route like you would recommend someone to take that says like, hey, I want to break into IT, but I don't have the experience. Where should I start?
Yeah. So that question is hard for me to answer because like, if you're brand new to IT, like first I would like you, like, probably you like create a plan of action. So create a plan of action for yourself because a lot of people, what they do is they immediately go and they start chasing. So they start chasing a bunch of certs. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. So it's very important that you create a plan of action. That's number one. Number two is, okay, I know the plan of action is created now, right? Number two is, what field do I want to work on? When you say I want to be IT, it's like saying I want to be a doctor. What kind of doctor, right? So it's like, IT is so big. So it's like, what do you want to do in IT? So it's extremely important that you pick something that you want to do and then go based on that. Once you go and pick that specific role or job or whatever you want to do, that's where you do the research again and you figure out what certifications you need to know for that job. So, okay, this job's asking for Security Plus. I'm applying for a SOC analyst role. Okay, what skills do I need to know? Now comes the skills part of it, like actual skills for the job. That way you can prove to the hiring manager that you know to do the job, right? Yeah. Okay, I have to pick out these skills, right? SOC analyst, these skills. All right. Next thing I would do if it was me, is just specifically talking to me, like I'm talking about what I would do, plan of action. Now I know I want to be a SOC analyst. I got to have Security Plus. I got to know these skills. Next thing I would do is I'll do I do a LinkedIn hack, which basically what that means is I'll go on LinkedIn and I'll go and reach out to someone that already has the job that I want. So like, okay, this person he has a SOC analyst role. And let me try to build a relationship with this person. to see how they got that job. Okay, I build a relationship with them. Let me take them out for a Zoom and a virtual coffee, and we'll have some coffee and talk.
That's
Okay,
money.
so what certification did you get to get this job? And he told me more information about that. Okay, now I have everything I need to know to actually go and land for that job. But besides all that, like besides the plan of action, all that, like the first thing, I give you all the tricks now. But before that, taking a step back all the way towards the beginning, which is very important, is learn fundamentals. So the fundamentals is very important. Like I know you want to do all these IT jobs, like so many IT jobs out there, but it's important. Is it very important that you know the basics first before you dive into something? Because then you'll know what the hell you're doing. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So fundamentals is very important. So you may need to look at the A plus. You may not need to look at the place like A plus. It could be a specific certification. That way you're well rounded, because then I don't want you getting lost. So then you go get a security job and they ask you, okay, I need you to go and open up Splunk and open up the console, and they look at you and you look at them and you look at them like they have 3 heads. Like, what are you talking about?
What is
that is, right? So fundamentals is very important. Then after that, you could do everything I just said. Build a plan of action, focus what job you need, focus on the job you want to get, focus on the skills you want to get, and then also connect with someone that already has the job that you want. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. But like, how do you build those fundamentals where it's like, oh my God, like I don't have any IT experience? For me, I'll take me as an example. Let's say I want to get into IT. I don't know anything about hardware. Literally, I'm so clueless when it comes to hardware. How do I learn these fundamentals?
Yeah, so that goes back to building a home lab. So like you could literally build a home lab from scratch. So if you're brand new to IT, and I've been asked this question a lot on like through LinkedIn all the time, I get things like, I have no job experience. How am I supposed to show job experience, right?
Yeah.
So it goes back to project work. So we have something called project work. So what does that mean? Build a home lab. So set up. If you're doing help desk, it's all about IT support. When I teach students on, learn about Active Directory. So go ahead and spin up a VM, a virtual box, install virtual box, and set up Server 2019, and then install Active Directory. Okay, I don't have Active Directory installed. All right, now I want to implement IT support. How do you implement IT support? I'm going to set up another VM with Windows 10, and I'm going to join it to the domain. So now it's in that domain. Now that Server 2019 is talking to Windows 10. Now they're talking to each other, right? Okay. Now let's recreate a real life scenario. You start unlocking the account, resetting the account, doing a bunch of stuff on the user account while they're logged in. You implement group policy and stuff like that. Okay. Now I know how to do these skills, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to add it to the resume, and I'm going to start applying for jobs. And now I'll give you another alternative. Okay, my computer sucks. My computer is horrible. I can't do anything on this computer. It's so bad. Okay, do it on the cloud. So if you go online, you go on Azure, you could do it on Azure for free. You could do it on AWS for free. You could do it on GCP for free. So there are so many resources out there that you can actually implement something from scratch and learn it, and then add it as project work and put it on your resume. And some people do it through a website. So like they have a whole website of projects that they have done. And then you have other people that use GitHub, and you have other people that actually create a YouTube video, and they actually link it to their resume, and then they give it to the hiring manager. So it really depends on the person, but there are so many ways to showcase your skills.
Yeah. Is there one that's like, would you recommend doing more if it's through GitHub, YouTube, or is it just putting it out there and being able to link to it? Is there
putting it out there and get it? Because the thing is with IT is that nobody knows what you know. So at the end of the day, you have to show what you know. So if you're nameless, like I know, like cybersecurity is like cybersecurity. We try to be like, we try to hide, right, not get ourselves known, right? But in IT land, like specifically IT land, people should know who you are, especially if you're on LinkedIn, right? If you're on LinkedIn, you're branding yourself. People should know who you are. So then the hiring manager looks for you instead of you looking for them. You should be able to bypass the ATS system if they know who you are and they know what kind of content you have or what kind of project work you're working on. So you can literally bypass the hiring manager and job recruiters and everyone else if you actually have a good LinkedIn branding. It goes back to that. So they can easily just find you online. Okay, this person, I'm going to hire this person because they know how to do the job. They know how to do these things based on the videos that they created or based on the project work that they did. I'm going to give this person a chance, or I'm going to send them an email, give them a job that I want to hire for and want to hire this person. So it really goes back to who you are. And if people could find you online, it just really goes back to that. Because if nobody knows who you are, it's going to be hard for them to find you or give you a job. That's how it is. So
Yeah. Can you take us through the mix of like building a good personal brand for someone that wants to be in IT? Is it pressing publish on like all of your content, but it's also connecting with recruiters, or what does like a good personal brand in IT like really look like?
so like if you're doing like branding on LinkedIn, like I said, it goes back to building genuine connections. Don't
Mm,
just add someone because you feel like it. That's very important. The other important thing is create a connection with someone. Like whether
mm,
it's this is how my LinkedIn has grown so much because I literally take the time to respond to people in the comment section. So sometimes you don't even got to make a post. You can just respond to people that are asking for help. So
very smart.
literally, I spent the time and I help people online. Like I see someone make a post about, oh, I need access. I need to know how to get free resources for CompTIA Plus. I'm like, oh, go look at Mike Myers, look at
Yeah.
Professor Messer, look at Jason DeLon. They all have content on the A Plus. Or could someone ask me? Could someone help me with this? Like I have this home lab I'm trying to set up and I
That's
can't
great.
find the ISO for server 2019. I go on Google, I Google ISO server 2019, reply to him. Here you go. Here's the ISO. So like, if
So
you
cool.
literally take the time and just reply to people, people will see that genuinely that you're helping them. Like, okay, this person's trying to help us. And if you spend your time doing that, commenting, and also posting stuff that helps other people, like literally, if you go online and you see like a special on Udemy, right?
Yeah.
Like this training is free and it's free right now for the next 3 days. We'll literally copy and paste that and put it on LinkedIn. Okay, this person is free training right now.
That's sweet.
It's free for 3 days. You guys want to take advantage of this? Go take advantage of it. Like I'll post it on LinkedIn. Like that's another thing you could do. And also another thing you could do, which is really cool that I'm going to share right now here too, is if you spend if you spend 2 hours on a dumb issue, like a
Yep.
lab or whatever, you spend 2 hours, write about that. So that way, if the other people go on your LinkedIn post, they see it, then they avoid the 2 hours that you spent on that issue. So then they don't have to spend 2 hours on the issue. They know exactly how to fix it now. So then if they go do it, it only takes them 5 minutes, right?
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
anything useful that you post online is gonna help somebody. You just gotta just post it and see what happens. And it does not have to be tech related at all. It could be health related or exercise or whatever.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing. I love like your mission statement that's like on your Twitter. I don't know if it's your mission statement. It's your mission statement. I'm going to call it on your Twitter and like your website. It's I help people build a career path in IT because no one helped me when I first started. And I think that's really cool because now you built a YouTube channel with like over 44,000 subscribers. You're a killer on LinkedIn. People know you as the IT help guy. Like people just know you as that. And it goes back to like building that content, building that personal brand. So take me to the YouTube channel. Take us why this started and how it's evolved over time.
yeah, my YouTube channel is a long story, but I created my YouTube channel because and like I wrote on my header is I asked for help. Like I literally asked for help. Nobody would help me.
Wow.
That's just how it was for me back then. So like nobody would help me. So it's just like I have like IT IT veteran horror stories because I've been in IT for over 8 years. So I have like
Yeah.
I have like stories. I have a lot of stories in IT.
Yeah.
And then one of them that before I even go on YouTube and talk about YouTube, I want you to we're gonna say something straight up. That's not to say anything bad, but like sometimes in IT land, like you have to figure out how to find the answer yourself because specifically talking about my personal experience, not anyone else's experience. I don't know how it's worked for anyone else, but I've been in scenarios and jobs that I asked for help and nobody would help me. So you have to figure out how to find the answer yourself. You have to figure out how to use Google. And you have to figure out how to swim because otherwise you will sink right in the water, right? So like my personal job, like jobs I had before in the past, nobody would help me at all. So that it was either sink or swim. So
Wow.
in some jobs, they will not help you. If you go and ask for help, they will not help you. And I'm going based on me, but I'm also going based on the 1,000 students I have trained. I have trained over 1,000 students, and I'm talking about
Amazing.
because I'm a trainer, right? So that's very important. Having strong analytical thinking and having the ability to Google the answer and having the willingness to find the answer. That's very important. So going back to YouTube now, I'm going back to YouTube because it's happened to me. I'm just gonna give you like I'm gonna drop gems here. This is happened to me. So YouTube was created because I couldn't find people giving me like the right answer. So like people were giving me wrong answers, and you go to Reddit. Reddit is a rabbit hole of information. So when I went to Reddit, when I was back in the days, I went to Reddit it's very toxic, very bad information. I just like, you know what, I'm just gonna make it. I literally like did like the Avengers. I grabbed the glove from Thanos. I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it myself because it's getting extremely annoying, right? So I literally just created a YouTube channel. I'm like, let me just share my story, share with what I know, and share how has it affected me. And I'm gonna share everything I know about IT, and I share it for free on YouTube. Like, you won't find anyone, you will not find another YouTube channel that shares their personal information, but also shares what they learn in their job. Like, I'm the only person that does that. There are people that don't do that. Like, you will have people in IT, and this is another gem right here. You will have people in IT that they hide information from you, and the reason why they hide information from you because they're scared that you're going to take away their job. So that's another thing. And talking about, like, because I've been in IT for a very long time, so my mind is a little different because I've been in IT for a long time. I'm sharing my information because I have worked in environments where when you're the person that knows a lot, people get scared of you because they think you're gonna take away their job. It's just, it's just how it is. So it's just, I'm gonna drop another gem right there. But that's why I started my YouTube channel, because I had people that gave me bad information. I wanted to share my story, and I wanted to help other people break into IT. At the end of the day, it goes back 360. I want to help other people because I'm good where I am in IT. Like, I figure I'd give it back, right? Why don't you pay it forward, right? So, like, that's why I started my YouTube channel. So
interesting. So let's just say someone lands on your YouTube channel. They're like, okay, like, I'm in IT. Like, what can they expect to like find in there? It's basically a free promo here, but what can they expect to like, find, like, in your YouTube channel once they do land on it?
Yeah. So I do cover Office 365, Active Directory, two-factor authentication. I recently started making cybersecurity content. It's extremely random. I do cover resume writing as well, like how to create a IT resume. And I have about 33 videos on job interviews, like what questions you may be asked if you go for an interview, an actual like job interview questions. And I also have videos on me interviewing other YouTube channels, like big YouTube channels, smaller YouTube channels, mid YouTube channels. One of them, if you guys don't know, I interviewed John Hammond from cybersecurity. I'm not sure if you guys know who John Hammond is. I interviewed Mike Myers, the book writer of the CompTIA Plus. So you'll find a little bit of information. It's a wealth of information. Interviews with text, resume writing, skills you need to know if you're trying to break into IT, IT support, stuff like that. So that's just what it is. So.
Yeah. And so you have like this resource here, and I'm just curious of like the community you built and like the feedback you've received. I mean, what are some of like the comments that people like give to you? It says like, oh my God, like this is a great resource. Like this is exactly what we needed. Or like, what's like some of the feedback they give to you? Cause it sounds like you're really like a pioneer in like the IT world, because this was not happening beforehand.
Yeah. So you have your ups and downs. So sometimes you'll get negative comments like, "Oh, you're going too fast." So when I first started my videos, when I was brand new to creating YouTube videos, and I don't blame them. It's not their fault. It's my fault because I drink too much coffee. So like I have the tendency of teaching too fast. So like over the years, I have like slowed down my videos a little bit because I go way too fast and on the video. Like, wait, he's like, he was here, now he's over here. Like in 1 minute, this doesn't make any sense. Can you slow down, please? So that was like some criticism I get, and I criticism like not a lot, but I do get criticism, and I read the comments. Like I read the comment section. It's not like I don't ignore the comment section. So that's some of it, and the other half of it, or actually the majority of it, is like, wow, this is free.
Yeah,
It's free. I'm confused.
That's
like, this doesn't make any sense. This is free. And I had people that I met like in the comment section that I personally met in person. Like I'm talking about like,
oh, that's cool.
I went to another state and they know who I am. Or I went to like, I'm from New York. I went to Manhattan. The guy knows who I am. Like literally, like I went to a restaurant and they didn't let me pay anything. Like I literally stepped into the restaurant. I sat down. He's like, is that the guy from YouTube? Like, yeah, that's from YouTube. He's like, oh, what is he doing here? And then they didn't let me pay anything. Literally, I just hang out and just talk to people. So yeah,
that's amazing. And I want to hit on like one little tidbit before we wrap up. I'm curious, like, so someone goes into a job interview, they're in IT, they're wanting to break into IT. Like, what should they bring to the table? How do they stand out in like their first interview in IT?
Yeah, for IT, like I always say, look at the job description. because they may ask you questions on the job description. That's number one. Number two is whatever you have on the resume is fair game. So make sure you don't lie on the resume. So if he says the resume says Active Directory, right, on it, and you know nothing about Active Directory, you start asking questions about that, you're going to get destroyed. Just letting you right now. So don't lie on the resume. Make sure whatever you put on the resume is fair game. That's very important. And the job description is very important too. That's 1 and 2. Number 3 is your personality. Like, just show the hiring manager that you're willing to learn. You're a good team player.
Yeah.
I interviewed myself, and I'll tell you my story. I interviewed 20 managers and directors last year. So I interviewed a bunch of managers and directors last year, and they all gave me the same answer. Like, they all gave me the same answer. And the same answer was a personality part of it. Like, they told me I could teach you the technical stuff, but like, if at the end of the day, you're going to be working with my team. And if I have to see your personality, like if you're working 8 to 5, and if you're a douchebag and you're 8 to 5 working with me, I don't want you on my team at all. So it goes back to the personality. Like, can I work with this person 8 to 5, or am I going to strangle them? So this is that's
awesome.
It's very important. Like, make sure you have a good personality, because nobody likes working with a jerk. Nobody likes working with a know-it-all, and everyone likes to work with someone as a team player. It goes back to personality. That's my tidbit for that. But also my final tidbit, my final tidbit. We'll wrap it up. For someone that's brand new, specifically someone that's brand new, like all the people that I train, like the students I train, the first thing I teach you about is mindset. The mindset is very important, because when you're brand new to IT and you have no job experience, you're going to get rejected a lot because you have no experience at all. So if you cannot handle rejection in IT, this IT is probably not for you. Just straight up, because you're going to get rejected a lot when you're brand new. You're going to get these job postings and stuff like that. You're going to say, I'm sorry, we didn't get you. We went with another candidate, or I'm sorry, we'll move on with someone else, or whatever. Like, you got to have the strong mindset. For IT, specifically IT, you will get rejected a lot, but I promise you that first job you get will open the door for you, and then you'll move up from there. That's it. That's what it is. But it goes back to your mindset. Your mindset is very important. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, absolutely. And that will wrap us up. Kevin, you were awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a lot of good gems in here, a lot of good questions in. So I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.